Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In this series we're going to be looking at some of the top reasons why you are failing to diet effectively. This series is going to be made up of 5 episodes, and in each episode we're going to look at 5 reasons that are contributing to you failing at your diet. I'm going to give you solutions by using my experience to help you move forward with confidence and help you diet successfully. And remember guys, if you do enjoy this video, hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to alert you every time I post a new video every Monday. Welcome to episode number 3, where we're going to be looking at how your setup could be causing you problems when looking to diet. We're going to have a look at how hunger and poor food choices could be causing you problems. We're going to explore a lack of structure and how your priorities need to change when looking to diet. And we're also going to be having a look at how the smaller things may or may not be contributing to you dieting successfully. So what is one of the top reasons why I see people failing to diet? Hunger. Now, that seems quite an obvious reason as to why you may be failing to diet. But actually, when you look at it a little bit more, we could be putting things in place that are going to help you avoid this throwing you off course. Not many people would voluntarily choose to be hungry, but actually when you're dieting, it is inevitable. So it's about how you deal with that and how you're going to look to move forward. First things first, are you actually hungry? Now, one of the easy things to look at is staying hydrated. Thirst can often be confused with hunger, so make sure we rule that out as something that may be leading to you feeling like you want to eat. Next, we're going to have a look at how your psychological connection with food could be getting in the way of you dieting successfully. In episodes 1 and 2, we looked at 10 of the top reasons that could be causing you to fail at your diet. We explored how setting realistic goals and how putting effort in is only going to help you when you're looking to succeed at your diet. My biggest bit of advice when looking to deal with hunger is to accept it. If you're looking to change your body composition, hunger is inevitable. I'm going to give you a few easy ways that you can look to make that will help make this a little bit easier for you. So first of all, keep busy, keep active. Give your mind something to focus on rather than your next meal. I'm just going to put it out there. You can even try to learn to enjoy the feelings of hunger. There's almost a little bit of a sadistic streak where you can start to feel that when you're hungry, it may mean that you're a bit closer to your goals. And in the past, that has definitely come into play when I'm in prep for my bodybuilding shows. And it's also important to understand that you need to learn how to change your habits so that you can commit to a diet and change your lifestyle in order to change your body. Ultimately, if you can explore different foods and find things that satiate you and leave you feeling like you've eaten, then that's only going to help the dieting process. And this leads on nicely to reason number 2, and that is poor food choices. When you look at some of the key points that contribute to hunger, making better food choices is definitely a valid point to look at. Nowadays, there's so many different things that we're exposed to when it comes to food. And we're inundated with marketing when you're driving down the road at every single bus stop. We've got fast food chains everywhere you go all over the world. And there's so many different options when it comes to food that it can just leave you completely overwhelmed and leaves you feeling confused when looking to pick the right foods for you and make choices that are going to help you diet successfully. Depending on whether you eat fast food at the moment or not and what your goals are, it may be worth considering putting these on hold for now and looking to source most of your food through single ingredient foods and the foods that are going to help leave you feeling satiated and offer you good nutrition as you diet. You may well be thinking, what's the problem with having burger and chips a few times a week? But we need to start thinking smart if you're looking to considerably lower your calories. If you use your calories on foods that are high in calories and aren't going to lead to you feeling very full, you're not setting yourself up for success. So ultimately, you need to understand what your goals are, what you're looking to achieve, your time frames, and whether or not certain foods are going to fit into your diet. The easy solution to this is to include a mixture of foods in your diet. So we can look at a variety of veggies, fruits, different meats. If your diet allows, you can look at incorporating things like dairy and spreads, oils, different fat sources that are going to help your satiation. You can also look at different combos. So when you're looking at creating different meals, you can try a different combination of veggies and meats, or you can try different products that are going to allow you to explore different palate experiences throughout your day. When you're looking at different food groups, you can explore these a little bit as well. So it might be that if you lean towards things like chicken as your lean meat go-to, you might look at things like white fish or lean mince, and that's going to offer a different taste experience for you. Look, we all love a good burger. Well, I do anyway. But it's about learning how, when you're dieting, you can incorporate different foods and how to structure this to serve you well. The last thing you want is to be bouncing from meal to meal and only focusing on this throughout your day. You want to be able to enjoy other things but diet successfully at the same time. Before we move on to point number 3, I'm going to answer a question that came in through my Instagram. And that was, do you need to eat breakfast? Generally speaking, depending on what your goals are and what your calorie targets are, the answer is no. What you need to do is look at, first of all, if you're hungry in the morning and if you want to use a certain amount of calories for that first meal. I personally use a lower calorie option when I first get up. So I have generally just protein depending on where I'm at and what phase I'm in. If I'm dieting, I just tend to have a shake, and I like to have the rest of my calories throughout the day so I can look forward to more food as my day goes on, around training and particularly before bed. If you're not particularly hungry when you get up, then you can look at the option of saving the calories that you use for breakfast on the rest of your day, and that may help you diet more effectively rather than using calories for the sake of feeling like you have to have breakfast. The next fail is a lack of structure. So in last week's video, we looked at how a lack of preparation and effort could be contributing to you failing at your diet. It doesn't take a genius to work out that structuring your day is going to help you diet more effectively. So let's explore this a little bit more. My first bit of advice when looking to get your structure in place is to consider things like your nutrition. So anything from food prep to getting your food shopping, when and where you're going to eat. We also need to bring training into play. So do you need to look at joining a gym? How long does it take you to get there? How long is each session going to last? We also need to consider things like steps, sleep, all of these things that contribute to you successfully dieting. When looking at not letting a lack of structure get in your way, we want to consider daily structure, weekly structure, and even sometimes looking at your year. So you can pre-plan things like holidays. You can ensure that if you've got something coming up, you can factor that in rather than get to something like an event and be completely overwhelmed and let it throw you off course of your diet. So it's all things to start thinking about. And if you can put pen to paper, understand what's coming up, things that you need to fit into each day, each week, and look to set up a structure that is going to help you successfully implement all of those things that contribute to you dieting, it's only going to serve you well. Once you've considered all of these things, don't expect changes to happen overnight. It's going to take time to build new habits, to understand what's required from your diet. And this leads on nicely to point number 4, which is getting your priorities in line. We all do it. We dive into a new diet. We don't understand what's required. And ultimately, it leads to us not following it through. But what we need to get to grips with is understanding what the diet you have chosen requires and how you can prioritize this within your lifestyle. Impatience and a lack of commitment to your diet, I tell you now, will end badly. If you do not prioritize this, it's only going to lead you to failure. And understanding and accepting that is going to help you move forward with confidence. You need to get to grips with what's required from your diet and how you can implement this to suit your current lifestyle, and then you can evolve into it. The more and more results you see, the better you feel, and the more inclination you have to continue. So how can you not let this overcome you? Start small. Look at implementing those things we spoke about when looking at structure. I also want you to consider prioritizing yourself. This is key to longevity when dieting. If you constantly put other people and other things first, it's only going to lead to elongating the process. And this in itself can lead to failure on your diet. Remember your why. What do you want to achieve and how are you going to achieve it? Get to grips with putting yourself first. Understand that when things come up, you either need to restructure or you put yourself first and you continue with all of those things that you have in place in order to achieve it, your diet. It's about constantly assessing what's required of you throughout the rest of your life, how your diet can fit in with that, and then finding that combination so that you feel like you're in control, you know what's needed, and you can execute the plan. To finish today's episode, let's look at reason number 5, and that is minutia. So you may have already jumped the gun and think that I'm going to start talking about executing every single thing to the letter. Let me stop you there. So yes, small things need to come into play, but I'm also going to look at how the smaller things can actually be holding you back. I'd like to delve into some experiences I've personally faced when dieting, at how focusing too much on the minutia can actually hold you back. Personally, I've been on quite a journey when it comes to becoming a bodybuilder and flexible dieting, preps into off seasons, and different phases that come with being a competitor. Let me tell you now, when I first started out, I made this a hell of a lot harder than it needed to be. So I can only reassure you that trying to simplify things enough so that it becomes manageable, but not missing out all of those daily tasks you need to do to contribute to you dieting successfully, it's definitely a fine line as to how much effort you can put in to reap the rewards. When I say about the smaller things causing problems when dieting, it's things like if your daily step target is 10,000 steps and one day you hit 9.5, do you need to over obsess that you've missed 500 steps? Or could you either do an extra 500 the next day or let that day pass knowing that you nearly hit your 10,000 step target? If you're flexible dieting like myself, do you need to hit every macronutrient to the gram, or can you allow a little bit of leeway when looking to hit your macros each day and over a week rather than obsessing on every single day hitting your macros exact? One of the main problems that comes about when obsessing over the smaller things is the elements of stress that you can put on yourself. The more stressed you are, the more complications you're going to have when dieting. It's not going to be enjoyable for a start, and you're going to leave yourself feeling negative about the diet. I would definitely advise that you look at getting the overall picture of your diet, what's required for you to lose weight, tick those boxes, allow yourself a little bit of leeway with things like your step targets, your daily macros. Potentially look at what you're achieving over a week rather than daily. So if you're trying to hit a certain calorie target, could you look at that over a week? And if some days you go slightly over, some days you go slightly under, maybe that will lend itself a little bit better when looking at longevity on your diet. All in all, we need to look at your setup gearing towards you succeeding at your diet, prioritizing yourself and your goals, understanding what is required on your diet, and putting things in place so that you can succeed rather than setting yourself up to fail. I really do hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Remember guys, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to alert you every time I post a new video every Monday.